What is going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Of course, your guys, Cody and Derek here, back with you guys for another episode. And in today's episode, guys, we are going to talk about this whole thing about Anthony Richardson. All right. Is Anthony Richardson about to take over the NFL in 2024, Derek? Because, Derek, I know Anthony Richardson only played in 5 games in 2024. But the things that we saw from Anthony Richardson suggest that if, and that's a big if, but if Anthony Richardson is healthy in 2024, there is good reason to believe that he might start taking over the league. Let's jump right into it, Derek. Give me your thoughts on Richardson, what we saw from him so far, and give me your reasoning why you think. Do you think that Anthony Richardson is about to take over the NFL in 2024? Why or why not? Let's jump right into it. Go for it.
Hey, I'm all for another video to hype up Anthony Richardson. People tell me I do it enough already, but I don't think so. All right, I'm going to continue to do this every week until I can get people to be as influenced and as obsessive about Anthony Richardson's comeback season as I am. There's a lot of different ways, guys, that we can talk about Anthony Richardson and, how we think that he's going to end up taking the league by storm. For me, I think I look back at the people who were suggesting the idea that Anthony Richardson have this year to sit out anyway. Right, Cody? I mean, we're having that discussion a lot last offseason where should Anthony Richardson start or should he be sitting, right? Because a lot of people suggested the idea of that. Sit behind the quarterback and learn and process and take all this stuff and be able to just get a more mental understanding of the season and how the game works. And, it might do Anthony Richardson some good. Now, he had to do that this year for the wrong circumstances, obviously. But in putting the lightness on a bad injury, it did give Anthony Richardson a full season to be able to sit back, watch film, dissect the game through another quarterback's eyes and through Shane Steichen's eyes and kind of witness it. It may not quite be as effective as him being out there by himself and learning it that way, but all signs point towards Anthony Richardson getting better next season, because that's another season, albeit he wasn't on the field for much of it, that he still got the opportunity to sit back, watch, and just basically learn how to be an NFL quarterback behind the scenes, right? And that's what everyone was hoping he would be able to do. We kind of wished he would have been able to do it from on the field, but that was taken away from him. So where everyone else who was suggesting that he should sit, they got their wish in the wrong way, obviously, but nevertheless, they got their wish. He got to sit back and just understand it. So from that first perspective, I look at it and say, Anthony Richardson has the right tools and mindset to be able to do it, because he was able to not only get a little tiny bit of playing experience, but at the same time was able to take the year to understand a critical point of not getting injured, and at the same time being able to just watch the game and see how it went in another quarterback's eyes.
Yeah, and again, that's just something with Anthony Richardson that he didn't really have that much in college, right? It kind of just felt like he was getting by. That sounds like a bad term, but obviously it landed him a top, 4 pick there. But still, like, he was able to do some of those things based off of his freakish talent alone, Derek, in a lot of ways, and you even saw that, obviously with Richardson, he was learning the playbook, learning all this stuff, as a rookie. But he's still, the talent was undeniable, even though he wasn't, where he is now mentally with the playbook. Even though now he didn't know the things. He was a rookie. He was, ignorant in certain ways, like every rookie is coming in. Like he just didn't know the way of the NFL. He didn't know how the process worked, and so it was just different for him. It just really was a year ago to where he is now and where he will be this year. But I think it was very valuable for him to realize, look, if I'm going to last in this game, I can't rely on my skills alone. Yes, I am a great athlete. No question about it. Richardson, one of the best quarterback prospects physically we've ever seen. But Derek, I think and I hope that it was a very humbling time for Anthony Richardson to understand I can't do the things that I did in college as much. Obviously, you want to use his ability. That's a gift. It's an ability, and you want to use it to your full advantage. But again, there's more nuances to the game than just, trucking some guys and getting into the end zone. There's more nuances to the game than escaping a sack, and making a crazy play. Some of the, mundane type of things, but the things that are critical to what you do, those are the things that I think Anthony Richardson just needs to learn, as a lot of young guys need to learn, so I think you're like you said, just having that time to sit back, kind of let hopefully the game slow down a little bit for him. Because again, this guy was so young, had 13 games of collegiate experience. So he didn't have a whole lot of experience like some of these other quarterback prospects who'd been playing for 2, 3, 4 years or whatever it was, as a starter. So it just was different for him. It was a different situation than all these other quarterbacks that got taken in the top, 4, definitely. But I just think it was so valuable for him to sit behind, Gardner Minshew and really just learn from Shane Steichen, learn from Gardner Minshew, learn from all these guys. And just have the ability to not kind of, have to learn on the fly, if you will. Now, again, that could have been a really good thing. It could have worked out well. I'm not saying that it shouldn't have, if he was on the field or if he was healthy, he shouldn't have started. He definitely should have started. The experience, that's the biggest thing you miss from Richardson being injured. He didn't get the game experience. But I think it is very valuable for him because you saw in the little glimpse you saw when he was healthy, I mean, this dude had 7 touchdowns, Derek, 7 touchdowns and really 4 games, and not even in some of those games, he didn't even complete that. So, I mean, this dude was absolutely incredible. And you saw just a glimpse from an extremely raw and young and inexperienced Anthony Richardson. So you think he's hopefully learned a lot from that experience. He's going to I think he's just going to get better, and obviously I think he's going to take better care of his body because an injury like this, while it sucks, hopefully it's a wake-up call for him in certain ways about some different things he might have to do when it comes to protecting himself. So all that to say, got the talent, no question about it. He's shown the ability, and hopefully the year that he was a tough year for him, I'm sure, but hopefully his rookie season, even though it ended not the way any of us wanted, I hope it turns into a positive thing, and I really do think it can, because Richardson strikes me as that guy that's going to take that, it's going to learn from it, it's going to grow from it.
Yeah, and you mentioned my argument that I was going to throw out with the touchdowns and the games that he had. I mean, I'll throw a more interesting number out there for you, Cody. I mean, you said 7 touchdowns in 4 games, and you said, well, I mean, some of those games he never even completed. Half of those games he was out within a quarter. So wow. I'll give you the better number. 10 quarters of football this man played. 10 quarters and had 7 touchdowns. So think about that. So if we're going to have a season next year where every 10 quarters of football, Anthony Richardson has 7 touchdowns, oh my God, the league is in trouble. I mean, you are in trouble if Anthony Richardson can have 7 touchdowns for every 10 quarters of football he plays. And if he plays the full season, y'all are in for it, man. I'm going to tell you what, dude, that is going to definitely be a very scary thing for the NFL. And they do not want to get in the way of that for that number. And another reason why I think he's going to end up being successful, shout out to Football Insights for this post. I don't think I can show it just because I don't think anyone's going to actually be able to see what's going on. That's not true. I can bring this up here. So I'll share this with everyone on my screen here, just looking at college quarterback prospects since 2014. So this is college quarterbacks over the last decade that have played a significant amount of snaps to the point where it says It's calculating your average time to throw based off of your pressure / sack rates. So the further right on this list is how much time you have to throw. So Anthony Richardson in college had about 3.15 seconds to throw the football in college. Now, that stems from a variety of factors. It can be from your offensive line play to you being able to scramble and make plays with your feet, and a couple different other things. And then the higher up on this list for this is the amount of pressure you received that resulted in sacks. So Anthony Richardson, only 9% of the pressures that Anthony Richardson faced in college resulted in sacks. So just giving you a general understanding of just how much Anthony Richardson was getting pressured and how many of those pressures were resulting in sacks based on the amount of time that he had to throw the football. I mean, Anthony Richardson is in a league practically all of his own up here, Cody. I mean, you want to be as high up on this list as humanly possible, and Anthony Richardson is out here with a mile of space. And we talk about Brock Purdy and Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, guys like that do a really great job of avoiding pressure even now in the league, right? And you just look at Anthony Richardson, and even up here, that's just him being in college. I mean, this is obviously just for college guys, but it gives you an indication of how difficult it is to sack Anthony Richardson. We kind of saw it a little bit last year too, Cody, even when he was hobbled a little bit. I mean, the Rams had a hell of a time trying to sack him. They were flying all over the place. They were throwing every blitz package they could think of at the sun to be able to throw Richardson off his game. And Richardson was still able to make some great plays to bring them back into the game. So, I mean, if that's any indication of where Anthony Richardson was just over a year ago to where he can be now, I mean, that definitely is going to show a lot of progress.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, definitely the sample size you saw was just incredible. I mean, it just was like no doubt why the Colts fell in love with him. Like there's no doubt why the Colts fell in love with him, because he just does things that other players just simply cannot physically do. And if you can put that, obviously the durability is a thing. You can combine that together with the things that we already know Richardson possesses, his character, his resolve, all those things. I mean, he's just a guy, Derek, that thrives through the hard times, through the difficulties. We've seen it his entire life, and I believe that he's a guy that can do it again. I really do believe it. And every time he's had adversity, Derek, he's rose to the occasion, or he's fought through it, and he's come back better for it. And so if you can put all those things together, and if he can stay healthy, I mean, man, it's going to be exciting. It really is going to be exciting to see him and Shane Steichen for the next, hopefully, long, long time together, because Shane Steichen's going to be able to utilize his skills. I think if there's anybody in the NFL that can do it, Derek, Shane Steichen's the guy that can get the most out of a quarterback like Anthony Richardson. So that's definitely exciting. But guys, let us know your overall thoughts on Anthony Richardson so far. And do you believe 2024 is the time where he breaks out, where he starts putting the league on notice? Let us know all those things in the comments below. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, guys, go Colts.